So this is just a second video I would like to share about ChatGPT. And I asked ChatGPT, if you were human, like if you were a conscious human, how would you raise a child that doesn't become a broken adult? Because after working in mental health and just all the conversations I have, or many conversations I have with people, so many people are on healing journeys, and it would be such a blessing to raise more children that don't have to go through 30, 40, 50 years of healing from their childhood. And so the sooner we can get in there as parents, the better the implications are going to be for the next generation and so on after that. So there's 10 answers here which ChatGPT gave me, and these are things as parents that we really can do and embody. So I'm just going to read them out. So first, ChatGPT said, "Ooh, what a soul-stirring question. If I were human and deeply conscious, here's how I would raise a child so they don't become another broken adult, not perfect, but whole. 1, make them feel deeply safe to be themselves. Not just I love you, but you're allowed to be all of you here. That means holding space for their anger, sadness, weirdness, curiosity, questions, even their no. Children don't need perfection. They need presence without performance. Broken adults were once children who had to shut parts of themselves down to be loved." Now, if you follow Gabor Mate at all, he says that children need 2 things: to feel connected and to be authentic. But what happens is children forego their authenticity so they can stay connected to their caregiver. And so this really is showing us of why to accept all sides of our children, knowing that they are okay to be who they are so they don't shut down. 2, regulate my own nervous system first. I'll treat my emotional regulation like sacred homework, because my child will co-regulate with me. When I lose it, I'd repair. When I feel overwhelmed, I'd model calming down instead of exploding or dissociating. How I handle stress teaches them how safe the world is. And I do think this is important because, again, it ties into the other one. If we are explosive, then our child is unable to be authentic because they might feel scared of getting told off by us. So they're going to trade that authenticity. And also it's modeling how to be. It's okay, we are human, we have human emotion of getting upset, getting angry, but if we show them how it's done in a healthy way, actually gives them a healthy blueprint. Next, listen more than I lecture. Instead of rushing to fix or preach, I'd get curious. What does that feel like inside you? What do you need right now? What does your heart say? Healing begins when we feel heard without being corrected. And what I love about this, it really ties in with a quote, I'm not sure who by, but it says we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So engage with people in that ratio to listen more than we speak. And I think this is even more important with our children because we're trying to understand what's going on inside of them. And so this allows us to pay attention, but also allows them to be heard. Number 4, teach them how to feel, not suppress. Emotions are messengers, not enemies. I'd help them name and move through their feelings, not distract or numb. We'd breathe, shake, dance it out, journal, scream into a pillow, rest. Emotionally illiterate adults were once children told to get over it. And I feel, again, this is so, I mean, all of these are really important, but this one especially because, you know, I certainly was raised in a generation that when a child is, you know, angry or upset, that they're having a tantrum, but they are not having a tantrum. They literally are releasing their shit, excuse my French, in the moment. They are learning to let go, and we teach them to suppress that and hold it in because of fear of what other people might think or what other people say. But then we become adults with all of these physical health issues because we've held in all of this stuff. So I think if we can teach them how to feel and how to release that in the moment, then it's not going to build up. And of course, that's going to give them the tools when they go into relationships, when they go into friendships, and when they go into the work environment. 5, let their soul lead. Instead of forcing a rigid mold, school grades, sports, status, I'd observe their natural curiosities and water those seeds. Who are they here to be? Not who I need them to be for me. Nothing breaks a child faster than being raised to live someone else's dream. And this for me is a big one, because especially in the school environment where grades, it's all about the grades and it's all about, academia. But what about those children that are emotionally intelligent, that like engaging and talking and chatting? Well, maybe their role is to be a counselor or to be some kind of therapist. But when we try and mold them into that other system rather than nurturing their own gifts, even if they're an artist and they're really creative. Even a child said to me the other week, I'm not very clever. I was like, you're very clever. He's like, no, I'm only good at art. I was like, dude, look around you. We need you artists in this world. It's you artists that create the films, that create all the things that we see in the space around us. That is so intelligent, and we need that. It makes the world a beautiful place. Like, do not think that because you're not clever by the school standards of maths and English, that it's that, that you're not smart, because you are. And we need that. And this is the message that we get from children. So this is why it's important to really tune in. What is your child's gift to the world? What are their strengths? And see the beauty in that, and let them be who they are, rather than trying to mold them into what we're told that we all need to be molded into. 6, let them witness me fall and rise. I'd share my mistakes, my growth, my apologies. They'd see the strength that isn't perfection, it's humility and accountability. They'd learn that love isn't balance of rupture, it's repair after rupture. I love this. Again, it's so important. Again, it's coming back to the modeling the behavior, because if they can see how we are when we have a bad day, then we can teach them the tools of self-regulation, because they are witnessing it. And children do more of what we do than what we say. So I do think this is a really important one for them to see all those sides of the human emotion. I mean, obviously it can't be forced, but if it's that, express that in as healthy way as you can. With my children, fortunately it's not often, but I say I'm feeling really angry right now. They know when I'm really angry because I sing really loud, Let It Go. They might even join in with me sometimes, but that's my way of releasing the energy, rather than directing that at one of them. And so they, again, if you model a healthy way of getting to that point of whatever it is, stress, tiredness, anger, whatever, but showing in a healthy way of falling but then rising back up again, and how that's done, again, it's going to really help them in any form of relationships, romantic, friendship, work. So number 7 is give them tools that I wasn't given. How to name and navigate triggers, how to set boundaries with love, how to stay embodied and present, how to choose partners who nourish their soul, how to live aligned with values, not validation. And this is beautiful, because we're certainly in a place now in society where we are talking more about triggers, how to navigate that. We are talking more about the importance of what our boundaries are and setting them, how to be more present in the moment of what's going on with us. And I mean, maybe partners who nourish our soul. I don't think I've noticed much of this at the moment myself in what's out there in the media. But it is a really important topic, because whoever we have around, especially partners, they're going to really determine massively the direction of our life. If they're going to hold us up, if they're going to raise us up, if they're going to nourish us, or if they're going to suck the energy out of us. So it's really important topic to get them, to help them to check in with all of this. And especially when it comes to aligning with what their values are and not the validation, because they're growing up in a world with all of this social media. So, even when I started doing this, my niece was like, oh, if I didn't have this many followers in in a year, excuse the dog, someone's come through the door. If I followers in a month, sorry, then I would. I'm gonna pause. So yeah, my niece was saying if she didn't have a certain amount of followers within a month period, then she'd end it. But this is the thing, it's realizing that, you know, for me, it's realizing that even one video, if that changes one person, the ripple effect of that, that's enough. Knowing that that's going to make a difference, and knowing that I'm worthy just for existing, the same as you watching this, you are worthy just because you exist. We don't need the validation of other people. It comes from within, especially because when we give our the ability for somebody else to validate us, then it takes away our power, and it means that a lot of things externally happening can affect what's going on with us internally. Okay, so the next one is protect their magic, their imagination, their trust in the unseen, their intuition. I'll treat it as sacred. I'll teach them that they are not separate from life, from source, from wonder. We'd pray, play, be weird, and talk to trees if we want. Most broken adults forgot they were the magic ones, and actually, even that they still are the magic. And I love this because, again, it's given them their power, realizing their source, their strength. It comes from within, and connecting with nature and how we can get that from nature. And I think, especially with the devices, everybody being so busy, you know, people are really disconnected from nature, and there's so much research out there on just how healing nature is. So I think the sooner that we get children to connect with their intuition, realizing that their powers within, realizing how therapeutic nature can be, it's just a great foundation for them to start. So number 9 is feel free. Sorry, free them from my unhealed expectations. I'd confront the parts of me that want to control, rescue, or prove my worth through them. Their job is not to fill my wounds. Their job is to be free. And for me, what this is we can have parents that maybe didn't feel accomplished, whatever that means. But, you know, I mean accomplished by what society tells us is accomplished and success. Maybe they didn't feel that, so they'll push their children into a sport or play in a musical instrument or something, so that they can get their validation of like, oh, look at my child's done this. But actually, the child then misses the opportunity to be their true self, and to realize actually what their gift is. And even if that was their gift, sometimes that can ruin that love and the passion for what it is. So I think that's really important. And so the last one says, keep evolving by self, because the best parenting isn't what I say, it's who I am. I'll do the inner work so I don't pass down the parts of me that were never mine to carry. And this actually reminds me of a really powerful quote that says, the best thing, I think it's the best thing a mother can give her children is a happy mother. When we evolve, when we grow, when we keep at it, like that is almost like a light, not a light at the end of the tunnel, but like a beacon of light for our children, of something that they can work towards, seeing that we're growing, that we're healthy, how that feels for them. And actually that will be fulfilling us, make us happier from the inside out, so they then get to experience happy parents. And because what can happen with children is, for them, they're in this place of like, everything's about me. So when the parents aren't happy, a lot of children will think, it's I did something wrong, there's something wrong with me, I am not enough. So when we keep evolving, when we are sourcing our happiness from within, then our children get to experience that. Then it just leaves less likely for them to grow up and have that wound that they are not enough. And so it just finishes off saying, because in the end, it's not about raising perfect children. It's about raising children who don't have to spend 30 years unlearning the idea that they were never enough. And if I get some of it wrong, I'd own it, because that too teaches them how to be human without becoming broken. So there you go. Yeah, I love that. And I think AI, it's a little bit like, you know, years ago people used to think you can't be spiritual and want to be rich. The two just didn't go together. And I think with AI, some people might think that AI is not a healthy thing. It can be a very negative thing. And I think the same with money and having lots of it. It's about who's using it and how we're using it. You know, if you use AI in a conscious way to help to raise the collective vibes, it's actually can magnify the healing for all of us. So I'm going to leave it there anyway. So much love and blessings. Take care.